Okay, so I am back here. I had to restart the live stream here since I was having a little issue here with the external microphone, and the app was a little glitchy as well, so I had to restart the app as well. So here we are once again. We are back here. Sorry for the inconvenience there. So we are back here. We are located right here in front of Madison Square Garden and Penn Station. It is the middle of the evening rush hour here. We have Carl Anthony Towns right there of the New York Knicks. All right, so it is the evening rush hour here in New York City. Everyone is making their way home, either from work or from school. We are located here in New York City, Midtown Manhattan, with a whole lot of other folks here. And we have the Empire State Building right ahead of us. The Empire State Building is lit in Mets colors. The Mets, they are playing the San Francisco Giants. They're about to play the San Francisco Giants. It is MLB opening day, Major League Baseball opening day, starting today. Oh, actually, no, the Yankees. I'm sorry, the Yankees are playing their opener, their home opener against the San Francisco Giants. The Mets days start tomorrow. Okay, so let me just make that clear. The Yankees, the New York Yankees, are playing tonight. The San Francisco Giants. The Mets home opener, that will be tomorrow. Okay, so just wanted to verify that real quick here. Okay, so here we are in Midtown Manhattan on this rush hour. We got some folks here. We got the vendors. We got a lot of folks here commuting in and out of Manhattan here. All right, so today is, today is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. The time now is 7:18 p.m. And the temperature right now is 48 degrees Fahrenheit, 9 degrees Celsius. And welcome Ivan, as always. Welcome Ivan, as folks make their way into Pennsylvania Station, right over here, right in front of Madison Square Garden as well. We got some of the other Knicks there, Knicks players. And let's go Knicks. The Knicks there on a 7-game winning streak. They're just about a game out from second place in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. Okay, so we're going to make our way over, since they are about to close the High Line. We're going to make our way over quickly to the High Line. I do want to visit the Pigeon that I did discuss a few days ago. They did have a send-off event over at the High Line for the famous Pigeon, the Dinosaur Pigeon, which is scheduled to be taken down early next month. I was not able to cover that event, unfortunately. I did discuss covering that event on Sunday. When was it? On Saturday or Sunday, but I was not able to do that at the last minute. So apologies for that, for not being able to cover that event. But we are going to visit the Pigeon here real quick as we make our way over to the High Line. We have Moynihan Train Hall right there across the street. That is all part of Penn Station. It is busy here. We are in the middle of the evening rush hour here. Right along, this is 8th Avenue here. Look how busy it is here. It is windy as well. We are having a windy Wednesday evening here. Okay, so we're gonna make our way over. Once we're able to cross the street, we're gonna make our way over to the High Line. The High Line Park, they are closing in about half an hour, so I'm gonna at least try to visit the Pigeon there, the famous Dinosaur Pigeon, which got a well-received send-off. Lots of folks turning out for that event. So thank you all for joining me here live as we are here in Midtown Manhattan. We got Madison Square Garden right there, home of the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers. It is lit up in pink. Okay, so in this stream, we're just gonna walk around for a couple of hours. This will be a bit of a shortened stream since it is already past 7 o'clock here, so we're just going to be walking around for maybe a couple of hours and, you know, just visit a few sites here. Okay, so we're going to try to make our way quickly over to the High Line and just get a glimpse of the Pigeon, which we have seen before during past streams. Those two buildings up there, that is all part of the Manhattan West development over on the west side of Manhattan here, Midtown. And we did have a couple of days ago, we did have an accident over at LaGuardia Airport. Not sure if you guys most likely have already heard about that. That took place overnight on Monday, involving an Air Canada jet, an express jet, that crashed into a fire truck. The two pilots, unfortunately, in that plane were killed. It was a flight over from Montreal in Quebec. It was coming in for landing at LaGuardia Airport, one of the two runways over at LaGuardia. It was coming into coming in for landing, and it crashed into a fire truck that had made its way over to the runway. That fire truck was responding to a separate call.
Yeah, pretty much. Wrap it up.
The pilot and the co-pilot, they were both killed in that accident. It is a beautiful evening here in Midtown Manhattan during this evening rush hour. As we make our way over to the High Line, we're gonna walk the High Line right before they close. And what is up, Ivan? How's it going, Ivan? They're about to close the High Line, so I'm just gonna try to make my way over really quick there and just walk for as long as we're able to there. We have made our way over to, this is 9th Avenue here. We have the famous B&H store right here, right at the corner of 9th and 33rd Streets. How's it going, Ivan? It's going pretty well. It's just a little tired, you know, from work, but here we are, you know, doing this live stream here. Glad you can join me here, Ivan, as you typically do. Okay, so we have the Yankees starting their season. They're out in San Francisco taking on the Giants. That game will be starting in about 40 minutes. And the New York Mets, they have their home opener over in Citi Field tomorrow. Ah, yes, the Mets, yes. Their season begins tomorrow. The Mets are playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. They'll be playing the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow. That game starts at 1:15 tomorrow in the afternoon. That is their home opener. Okay, so we have made our way over to, this is Manhattan West. And hello to Ethan, or Ethan. Yes, I am into baseball. I am definitely into baseball. Nice to see you, Ethan. And by the way, the Yankees, their home opener is on, let's see, April the 3rd. That is next Friday. Next Friday, April the 3rd, they'll be taking on the Miami Marlins over at Yankee Stadium. That is their home opener, the Yankees home opener. That will be next week on Friday, the April the 3rd. All right, so here we are. This is Manhattan West. We have the NHL store right over here. We got some Whitney Houston music over here. I'm gonna have to play my own music over there. I do have my playlist ready, so here we are. Ivan says next month is Autism Awareness Month. Okay, that is nice to know, Ivan. Thank you, Ivan, for that information. Okay, so we are back to normal audio here. We did have Whitney Houston playing over the plaza here of Manhattan West. We got the Whole Foods Market. This is their Hudson Yards location here. Okay, so we're making our way over to the High Line. Right here we can see the Moynihan High Line connector bridge right ahead of us. That will take us right into the High Line, right onto the spur of the High Line and the Pigeon. Okay, so we're just gonna make our way over to the spur here of the High Line, and we're gonna walk as far as we can along the High Line right before they close. They're about to close here in about half an hour, so perhaps we can walk the entire length of the High Line, although they might tell us, you know, to exit right before then. So we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see if we can walk the entire length of the High Line here at the during the evening rush hour here. All right, so this is the Moynihan High Line connector bridge here that will take us right into the High Line itself, right up to the spur where the Dinosaur Pigeon is located. Look how backed up some of the traffic is. We have traffic jam there ahead of us. Let me see if I can just grab a picture here real quick before we continue our walk. I do like taking pictures, you guys know that. I might have to take another picture. This one came out a little blurry. Let me go right back real quick and just snap another one here. Okay, let me try that again. By the way, these pictures they'll be uploaded here to the channel, as well as my Instagram as well. I'll be uploading the pictures there. Right here we can see the Hudson Yards. Absolutely beautiful. And if we zoom in, let me zoom in here. We can see the edge right there, the edge platform. That is the edge platform, looking at it from down below, over at 30 Hudson Yards. Over on Twitter, I'm not really too active over on Twitter, although I might upload some stuff here and there. But your best bet is on Instagram. That is where every single picture gets uploaded. And you can follow me on Facebook as well. But as far as photographs, Instagram is my main platform. All right, so we have made our way over to the High Line here. This is the spur of the High Line, and we have the Dinosaur Pigeon, which just got a send-off party over here over the weekend. Here we are. Yes, Ivan. Yes, you do follow me over on Facebook. All right, we have made our way over to the Pigeon. This is the famous Dinosaur Pigeon. The Dinosaur Pigeon, it's on its last days here at the High Line. As we look at it here during the evening rush hour, it is beautiful. This pigeon, by the way, has garnered a big fan base here ever since it was introduced back in October of 2024. This is a cast aluminum sculpture of a feral pigeon by artist Ivana Gorta. He was here as well during the send-off event. He is from Colombia. This is a 16-foot tall sculpture. And the base right there, the plinth, that is 5 feet in height. So altogether, this is 21 feet tall. It weighs 2,000 pounds or 1 ton. And hello to Irma. Nice to see you, Irma. And hello to everyone in Finland. As we look at the famous Dinosaur Pigeon sculpture here, during its last days here at the High Line. This sculpture, by the way, will be replaced by a Buddha statue that will be taking place sometime in the spring. And here's a preview of what that next sculpture will look like. Let me pull it up here on my other phone. That is the Buddha sculpture, which will be replacing the pigeon here. The Buddha sculpture, it is named, let's see, The Light That Shines Through the Universe by artist Tuan Andrew Nguyen. He is from Vietnam. Yes, they are replacing the pigeon. They had the send-off event here over the weekend. Many folks turned up for that event. There is a petition, by the way. Let's see, where is the petition? I do have the petition, but there is a petition to save the pigeon here. It has garnered about 6,000 signatures, mine included. I did sign the petition. If you guys are interested in signing the petition, it should be in the description to the live stream here. So if you guys are interested in signing that petition to save the pigeon. The link is in the description. So there is a petition. More than 6,000 people have already signed it, myself included, to either save the pigeon here or just have it somewhere, you know, somewhere where the public can easily access it. Now you get amazing photo. This is a beautiful photo, Irma. I'm definitely gonna snap a couple of pictures of this beautiful, beautiful pigeon here. Usually we see it during the daytime, but here we are. This is a rare look at the pigeon during the evening hours. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. New York's most famous pigeon, the Dinosaur, as it is known by Ivana Gote, the artist, the sculptor behind this most famous pigeon here. It is beautiful. Let me see if I can grab another picture of it. I am snapping a couple of pictures of the pigeon here. Look how beautiful against the backdrop of the skyscrapers here. Absolutely beautiful. We have Manhattan West right there, and we have Hudson Yards right over here. This bird is surrounded by all of these new skyscrapers. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely magnificent. All right, so once again, this is a 16-foot bronze cast aluminum sculpture here by Ivana Gote. He is the sculptor, the artist behind this exhibit here. He is from Colombia. This was installed back in October of 2024. It is 16 feet tall. And with the base there, it is 21 feet. This pigeon here is known as the Dinosaur. It is being replaced by the Buddha sculpture, which I just showed you guys a few minutes ago. Here's a preview of what that looked like. Right there, that is the Buddha sculpture that will be replacing the pigeon here. That will be taking place sometime in the spring. So this pigeon here will be here for about, I would say, maybe another couple of weeks, I would think, or perhaps a week, between 1 and 2 weeks, before sadly they'll start taking it down, unless, you know, unless something last minute takes place where, you know, well, they'll decide to perhaps keep it up here, and maybe they'll just put the Buddha statue, the sculpture here right next to it somewhere. It would be a nice compliment to have both the Buddha and the pigeon sculptures here, the statues here. All right, so that is the famous Dinosaur pigeon here at the Highline during its last days, although we are hopeful that perhaps, you know, they'll save it at the last minute. So we'll definitely stay tuned. I'll definitely keep you guys updated should anything happen here, any last changes. Let me just take one more picture here before we make our way further down the Highline here. Here's a picture right there of the pigeon I just snapped. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we're going to continue walking here along the Highline as we take a look here at the evening rush hour traffic right along 9th Avenue. That is 9th Avenue there. Look how beautiful that is. Beautiful shot of the Wednesday evening rush hour traffic. Okay, the time now is 7:39, so hopefully we'll be able to perhaps walk the entire length of the Highline, although that might be a bit difficult considering that they're about to close this park here in about 20 minutes. And it takes about half hour to walk it, so let's see what we can do here. We'll definitely walk as much as we can here along the Highline. The weather is pretty good. It is. It was a bit windier earlier. The winds have calmed down a bit. And by the way, the sunset time tonight was at 7:13. 7:13 was the sunset time. Look how beautiful it is here. I can feel the wind again. The wind is kicking up again just a little bit. We are right near the Hudson River. It is absolutely beautiful as we look towards the west there in New Jersey. That is looking west towards New Jersey and the Hudson River. Okay, right over here we have the shed and the vessel. We have the vessel right behind the shed. That is a little look there at the vessel, which just opened again for the season. We'll be stopping by the vessel at some point soon. As we look here at the Hudson Yards complex. Okay, so let's make our way here down the High Line. This is a 1.5 mile elevated park, which sits on former old railroad tracks that was used to transport freight. Okay, so this is the southern portion of the High Line, the southern end, or rather the northern end. This is the northern end of the High Line. We are making our way towards the southern end of the High Line. Hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully we can walk the entire length as they are getting ready to close the High Line here for the night. Right along the Chelsea neighborhood. We got a large group here. Look how beautiful the sky is. Blue skies. Against the backdrop of this concrete jungle. We have the concrete jungle here. It is amazing how this was all put together. So we'll definitely be back to visit the Pigeon. We'll definitely see it better in the daytime. Look how beautiful as we look back towards the Hudson Yards and Manhattan West there.
Yo, shut the fuck up!
We got residential buildings on either side. That should awaken the folks that perhaps were napping here. The one problem that you guys might have here, for all of the folks that live along these condominiums here, is a privacy issue. There is the issue of privacy. In many of these apartments, we can see directly into their apartments, you know, their bedrooms and living rooms and all that stuff. Yeah, they just walk by. I think they were just screaming at probably somebody that was probably looking at their window, looking out from their window. So that is definitely a concern for the folks that live here along the High Line is the issue of privacy. There have been reports of folks being spotted during intimate moments here. And hello to Todd and Mary. And hello to everyone in New Hampshire, Nashua, New Hampshire. Lena is not here. We do miss Lena. And I hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday. Or Thursday if you're Irma. Happy Thursday, Irma. Okay, so we just took a look at the Dinosaur Pigeon. The famous sculpture here in the High Line of the famous pigeon, the New York City's most famous pigeon, who is now a celebrity. Unfortunately for the pigeon, he or she is being replaced by the Buddha sculpture that you guys took a look at also. That'll be happening sometime in the spring. The pigeon itself will be here for about maybe another 2 weeks. There is a petition to try to save the pigeon, so anything can change, anything can happen between now and, let's say, like the next couple of weeks. A petition to save the pigeon. And if you guys want to sign that petition, the link is in the description to this link here, to the live here. I did post a link there of the petition if you guys would like to sign it. The petition itself already has garnered more than 6,000 signatures. I myself signed the petition as well. So there is a big effort to try and save the famous pigeon here. And hello to Vesna. Hello, Vesna. Good evening.
This is around like Halloween time. Okay. So I remember, and then I always throw like a Halloween time.
Welcome to the High Line. This is the High Line here. We are walking from north to south along the High Line. It is beautiful. Look how beautiful the High Line looks at night. The High Line is beautiful whether you're walking along it during the daytime or at night, but it looks especially beautiful at night. Look how beautiful this is. And of course, we have other art installations along the High Line. We have some murals, we have some other artwork. The most famous, of course, is the Dinosaur Pigeon at the moment. But as you guys can see here, we do have other art exhibits here as well on display. The walking along the High Line is like walking through an outdoor art gallery. Okay, so as you guys can see, it is mostly quiet here as it is past, let's see, what time is it now? It is past 7:30. It is almost 8 p.m. here along the East Coast. Okay, this is West 23rd Street right over here. This is West 23rd Street. That is the view looking east. Right here in the middle of Chelsea, the Chelsea neighborhood. Look how beautiful that is. Looking down West 23rd Street there. And we have the beautiful lawn as well. Look how beautiful it is being kept. And thank you, Todd and Mary. We'll definitely do everything to stay safe, although right now it is pretty quiet. And we do have this mural right here. This is a different mural than the last one I remember. Let me see, let me zoom out so you guys can see it better. Okay, so this mural here, let's take a look at it here. Okay, this one is called Backbreaker Double by Derek Forger. Derek Forger, he is from native of Memphis, Tennessee, works across painting, sculpture, installation, and performance to examine power, labor, representation, and the African-American experience. His vibrant paintings, built from cardboard, newspaper foil, and glitter, are carved, layered, and punctured to reveal texture surfaces that echo material history and reuse. Okay, so right here for the Highline, Forger presents Backbreaker Double, a new work depicting two black marching band drum majors executing the dramatic drum major backbend, an athletic salute in which the performer arcs so far back their shackle nearly touches the ground. Okay, so that is this is the nearest mural here on this part of the Highline. Let me zoom in, zoom out right here. Okay, so once again, this one is called Backbreaker Double by Derek Forger. Derek Forger. And hello to, let's see, we got Peter here. Welcome, Peter. When is my next live stream? I'm gonna try for tomorrow. I keep saying, like I'll be back here, but then, things change at the last minute. So sorry, once again, apologies for not being able to not have been able to live stream the send-off event for the Pigeon. That was over the weekend. But we did take a look here at the Pigeon. And a reminder, I will be live streaming the New York International Auto Show, which will be coming up starting next week on Wednesday, April the 1st. So make sure you guys join me for the New York International Auto Show. That live stream will be kicking off next Wednesday, April the 1st from the Jacob Javits Convention Center. So I'll be live streaming that event. Make sure you guys join me for the New York International Auto Show. Always one of my favorite events of the year. We'll be live to cover that event. As we continue walking along the Highline here, we're about halfway through the Highline here. And let's go back here and look at the Empire State Building as it is covered. Where is it? Right there. The Empire State Building, looking back towards it, it is lit in Mets colors. The New York Mets colors. Look how beautiful that looks. The New York Mets, they begin their home opener for the season tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Pirates. We do have the Yankees kicking off their season opener against the San Francisco Giants out west in California. So we'll be live next Wednesday, April the 1st to cover the New York International Auto Show. That is The first of 2 press days, I'll be live for that during the first day. As we check out all of the new vehicle reviews, all of the exhibits there that'll be taking place. It should be a fun one. We were live last year as well, so it was definitely a fun live stream last year, and we'll be back again next week to cover this year's event. And right here we can see the old rails. Right along the elevated portion here. It is amazing how this was all integrated into what became this elevated park. They preserved much of the railing here, much of the freight railing, the rail bed and all of that. Amazing, amazing stuff. Okay, I'm gonna snap a picture here real quick before we continue our walk. It is beautiful here. It is quiet, it is beautiful, it is tranquil, it is peaceful. We have jogging as well here. As we look back towards Hudson Yards, that is the view looking north back towards the Hudson Yards. And we can see the edge right there, the edge platform. That is the edge right there, high at top 30 Hudson Yards. We can see the edge. There are some folks there as well. We can just barely be able to make out their silhouettes, but there are some folks up there on the edge there.
I don't know if there's none, but like that's so perfect.
It is clear in the 70s in eastern Tennessee. Wow. We are expecting the weather up here to warm up as well. You film when you can, and when you can, it's okay. Thank you, Todd and Mary. Yes, sometimes the schedule, the streaming schedule just changes, at the last minute. So I might say, yeah, I'll be live tomorrow, but then, something else comes up or I have to go to work, and then I'm not able to live stream. So I'm going to try to be as consistent as I can for these live streams, but for sure we'll be live next Wednesday. That is a certain. I'll be free from work. I have the day off from work, so we'll definitely be covering that event on Wednesday. The New York International Auto Show. And hello to Tina. Nice to see you, Tina. Shout out to my best friend, one of my best friends, Tina, in the chat. How's it going? If you guys missed the Dinosaur Pigeon during the earlier part of the stream, you can just go right back and check that out. The Dinosaur, of course, being retired towards the end of the month, early in April as well. That is when they are scheduled to take down the Pigeon, unless something occurs. Well, they'll decide to save it at the last minute. There is a petition taking place right now to try to save the Pigeon. You guys can sign up, sign your put your signatures in the petition. The link is in the description to the live stream here. If you guys would like to sign that, I signed it earlier. It already has more than 6,000 signatures. It is 47 degrees Fahrenheit in Finland. Sounds like a mild day there in Finland. Beautiful. And hello to Kobe. Nice to see you, Kobe. Good evening here from the Hollyland. So if you guys would like to participate in saving the pigeon here, the petition, the link to the petition is in the description to the live stream here. Add your name to the already 6,000 names there. And Kobe is asking, did you hear that there's an MJ biopic pop-up coming to New York City in April? I would have to look into that, Kobe. There are so many events that take place here that it is hard to keep track of them all. So, you know, I try to cover the ones that I'm able to. But I'm definitely going to look into that. I am a big Michael Jackson fan, for sure. There should be more than 6,000. Yes, I would definitely think so. But with, you know, word of mouth, that number would definitely grow. It is now 8 p.m. It is now 8 p.m. here on the East Coast, Eastern Time Zone. 44 degrees. It is a relatively mild night here. Look how beautiful. As we look across there, that is New Jersey in the distance. That is Hoboken there. And we can just see that is Jersey City. Downtown Jersey City and Newport, Jersey City. Those skyscrapers there. The views are beautiful. Yes, I cannot disagree with that. The views have been beautiful throughout the stream here. And we do have a Little Island Park there as well. We can see right behind the trees there, that is Little Island Park. Perhaps we'll just visit there. Actually, I should visit there. Why not? We're gonna go there next. As soon as we get out of make our way out of the High Line, we'll stop by Little Island, right there along the Hudson River. Lovely Lena, I hope she is okay too. I will message her just to see how she's doing. I will message her. And right over here, we can see this is 14th Street right over here. And the Meatpacking District, 14th Street, West 14th Street, and the Meatpacking District. Look how beautiful that looks. Not much going on here along 14th Street, but it is beautiful. The view is beautiful. The night is beautiful. Everything is beautiful tonight. Let me snap a picture here before we continue. It's a bit difficult holding the camera steady with one hand, especially with the wind. And you definitely have to hold the camera steady, especially when taking these night pictures. Okay, what do we have over here? We do have this showing over here on the other side. We have the projector right there. This right here, let's take a look at what this is. This one is called, this is a bit different than what we saw during the last time we were here. Okay, so this one is called Sabacon, the Leaking Ocean, which will be shown here from March 6th to May the 5th. Okay, so let's take a look here. Sabacon, born in 1982 in Lahore, Pakistan. Practice is grounded in the intersection of art, ecology, and colonial history. She explores bureaucratic structures and the legacy of third world modernism, a post-colonial aesthetic that used grand infrastructure to project visions of national progress. For her exhibition on the High Line, Khan presents the world premiere of Leaking Ocean alongside Water Lords and The Dolphin, all three of which explore the life-changing elements of water and the fraught politics of its distribution. So let's take a look here at the video that's playing here. Hey, we got Andrew here. What is up, Andrew? You're still at work. We just took a look at the pigeon during the beginning of the live stream. Okay, so let's keep it moving since the Highline is about to close here. So once again, this is called Leaking Ocean by Sabakan. And we'll definitely take another look at it when we revisit the Highline soon. The vessel, yes, no vessel tonight, no vessel, but we'll definitely stop by the vessel at some point again. And right here we can see this is the standard Highliner Hotel, right over here. As we begin to walk underneath the hotel here, we can see the base of the building here. It is interesting to walk right under this hotel. It's not every day that you get to walk right under a big building like this one. Always a beautiful view right along the High Line. Whether you walk here during the daytime or at night, you get great views. I especially love walking here during the nighttime hours. It is beautiful. Beautiful and majestic. And hello to Angie. Nice to see you, Angie. Good evening here from the High Line. It is nice to see you here. I'm snapping another quick picture here before we make our way out of the High Line here. Okay, so we are reaching the southern portion of the High Line, right along Gazanvoort Street and the Meatpacking District. We started from the Hudson Yards, the northern end, and now we have reached right here near the southern point, the southern end of the High Line. If you guys would like to sign the petition to save the dinosaur pigeon here, the link is in the description to the live stream, so make sure you guys add your name to the petition, and hopefully we can all help contribute in saving the pigeon here, the dinosaur pigeon, the famous sculpture here at the High Line. That petition already has more than 6,000 signatures, so if you guys would like to add your signature to that list, all you got to do is just click on the link in the description. Okay, so we're gonna we just exited the High Line. We're gonna make our way over to Little Island Park. And taking the views from there, right along the Hudson River. Thank you all once again for joining me here tonight on this Wednesday night here in New York City. You guys are always great. as we are making our way over to Little Island right now. And Todd and Mary are leaving us, it appears. Thank you, Todd and Mary, for always joining us here, as we have made our way over to the far west side here of Manhattan. Let me see if I can walk right along here, across the highway here. And we can see one World Trade Center coming into view down there, towards the southern portion of Manhattan. Look, it appears that the spire there is lit in Yankee colors. I would think those are Yankee colors there. The navy blue and the white. The Yankees, of course, they're starting their MLB season. They're taking on the San Francisco Giants over in San Francisco. Okay, so this right here, this is the West Side Highway. As we look at the traffic here, we're going to make our way over to Little Island. Lots of traffic here. Thank you once again, Todd and Mary, and may you all have a good night. Good night to everyone in New Hampshire. Okay, we should be able to cross the highway here in a few seconds. Okay, here we go. Always gotta pay extra attention when crossing the West Side Highway here. This right here, this is also a part of the Empire State Bike Trail. And right over here, this is Gazemvoort Beach. Perhaps we can walk around here for a few minutes. This is Gazemvoort Beach here. We have been here before. Gazemvoort Beach and Gazemvoort Peninsula. Right here we can see the bluff, the sand bluff right here, the sandy areas. There's really nobody here. I believe we might be the only ones here. Right along the peninsula here, Gazemvoort Peninsula, and the beach here. Peter likes Little Island. Yes, I love Little Island. Little Island has become such a popular spot ever since it opened back in 2021. As we look down towards downtown, that is the view of downtown and the World Trade Center. Look how beautiful it is here tonight. And across the Hudson River, we can see Jersey City there as well. Little Island looks like a nice place. It is definitely a nice place. We'll be visiting Little Island in a few minutes. But let's just walk around here, Gazemvoort Peninsula and the beach here real quick. We have the Hudson River here. Looking west towards New Jersey, we can see Hoboken. That is Hoboken there. We can see the Westin Hotel Hoboken there. And right over here, of course, we got Jersey City. Jersey City skyline, by the way, continues to grow year after year. It is certainly impressive. What an impressive skyline Jersey City has grown into, especially during the last decade. They continue to grow their skyline as they keep adding high-rises and skyscrapers there. Beautiful. Newport there and Jersey City. And Exchange Place as well. Exchange Place is known as Wall Street West. That is their financial district there. And zooming back here towards Manhattan, we can see Lower Manhattan there and One World Trade Center anchoring the skyscrapers there. It is lit up in Yankee colors tonight. The spire of One World Trade Center. That is the colors of the Yankees. Beautiful. What a beautiful view of the downtown skyline. Okay, let me see if I can grab a picture here of the skyline, starting with Lower Manhattan there and the financial district. It is beautiful, although it's a bit windy right now, so I'm gonna have to try to be extra steady with my hand here. Beautiful. And if we zoom out here, we can see both skylines of Lower Manhattan and Jersey City. Look how beautiful that is. And the mighty Hudson River right here as well. Okay, so let's make our way over to Little Island as promised, and we're gonna walk around Little Island there, which is right next door, by the way, to Gansevoort Peninsula here. So it's only gonna take us about a couple of minutes to get there once we exit here. It is quiet. There is no one else here. We are the only ones here in Gansevoort Peninsula and the beach here. We have the peninsula to ourselves. And Peter says Little Island was paid for mainly by Barry Diller and his wife Diane. Oops, it's hard to read with the comments here. And his wife Vaughn Furstenberg, the cloth designer. They put up over $200 million. It was mostly privately financed, yes. They also placed another $100 million for maintenance. Diller is a media mogul and billionaire. Thank you, Peter, for that information. I believe the High Line was privately financed as well, or for the most part, it was privately financed. Okay, so we're gonna make our way over to the Highline, not the Highline, Little Island. Little Island. We're gonna make our way over to Little Island. And right across the street, by the way, that is the Whitney Museum of American Art. That is the Whitney Museum of American Art right there. That white building right there, that is all part of the Whitney Museum of American Art. very generous, rich folks contributing towards the construction of the little island park there. And Ivan is back. Nice to see you back, Ivan. We got some folks, they're playing soccer right there on the field. And thank you all once again for joining me on this live stream. If you folks are new to the channel, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Redstorm Pro. Good evening from right here along the far west side of Manhattan. Diane's brother is also a designer of men's clothing. Egan von Furstenberg. Alright, so we are making our way over to Little Island Park. We just stopped by Gazembourg Peninsula there real quick and the beach there. Right now we are making our way over to Little Island Park. And the view there of the mighty Hudson River. Okay, and right over here, of course, this is the remnant of the famous Pier 54. Pier 54 used to be operated by the Cunard line, which was one of the two main British transatlantic ocean liners, the other being the White Star Line. This pier is famous for being the location where the Carpathia docked with the survivors of the Titanic disaster, the sinking of the Titanic back in April of 1912. We have been on the spot here before, so this is a very famous spot here. This is the remnant of Pier 54. Right along here, along the Hudson River and the West Side Highway here. So this pier right here, of course, no longer in operation, but this is the remnant here of Pier 54. This is where the Cunard line, the Carpathia, the RMS Carpathia, docked back in April of 1912, a few days after rescuing the Titanic survivors from that disaster. And if we go here, we can see the ships right here. Let me turn on my flashlight, or perhaps it's not necessary. Let me see if I can turn it on here real quick. So right here we can see, I believe that is the Lusitania. Okay, that is a separate ship. That is a separate ship here. Right over here we got the, okay, this is the Titanic right here. That is the RMS Titanic. And the Carpathia, the RMS Carpathia, which was the rescue ship of the Titanic, right as it sank on that unfaithful night in April of 1912, doing her maiden voyage. Never made it to New York, sadly, as it struck an iceberg. We all know the story behind that tragedy. It struck an iceberg doing its maiden voyage from Southampton, England, over here to New York City. And right here we can see the Carpathia. This is where the Carpathia docked back in 1912 as she unloaded the survivors of the Titanic, about 700 survivors of the Titanic. Okay, so we're gonna make our way over to Little Island Park, which is this park right here, as it juts out into the Hudson River. This is all part of Pier 55 as well. This park here measures 2.4 acres in size. It opened back on May 21st, 2021. The park is supported by 132 pot-shaped structures here. They're called tulips. We can see it right here, dipping into the Hudson River. Yes, that was a tragic night. One of the most tragic disasters, one of the most famous disasters of all time. That is a disaster that has, whose legacy continues to live on more than 100 years after the sinking of the Titanic. Okay, so we're not able to make our way up there. That's up to the highest point of the High Line. Perhaps they're doing some work there, so we're not able to go up there and enjoy the view of the Hudson River. So we're just going to walk around here in the areas that are accessible right now. We have the amphitheater here as well, which is right in this direction here. We do have an amphitheater here. We have seen it before. I have watched so many documentaries on the Titanic over the years that I can consider myself almost an expert in the subject of the Titanic disaster, the sinking there. That is one story that has always fascinated me over the years. I have always been fascinated with the Titanic tragedy. Okay, so we have made our way over to the amphitheater here. Of course, there is nothing taking place here tonight. The events that usually take place here, they're usually in the summer months. But this is a look here at the amphitheater. Look how beautiful that is. Beautiful view here of the amphitheater of Little Island Park. And we can see the Hudson River once again with New Jersey there at the other end of the river, the other side there of the river. By the way, the amphitheater here can seat 687 people here during the live events that take place here. So they'll be having all sorts of events taking place beginning in the spring, which we are already in the spring. Once the weather gets warmer, that is when they'll start having all sorts of live entertainment here and live performances. They have concerts here as well. So lots of shows, lots of events will be taking place here in the coming months. This looks like a very beautiful place. It is indeed. It is indeed. Look how beautiful it is here. The amphitheater of the Little Island Park here. It is always beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna start making our way out of Little Island since we're not able to access the higher the elevated portion of the Highline, since it is rather the Little Island Park here. We're not able to access the highest point up there. It is closed at the moment. So let's see, perhaps we can just walk around on this side and just check out what's going on over here before we start to make our way out. Irma hasn't seen Little Island before. Well, here you are. You are seeing it for the first time if you haven't seen it before. And by the way, I do have video of the Highline that I recorded back in 2021 when it first opened. I do have a video of that. It's a walkthrough video of the Highline of the... I keep saying the Highline of Little Island. A video of Little Island Park here. If you guys would like to check that out, it is from 2021, back when the park here first opened. Okay, we got the pinwheel here. Let's give that a spin. As we go into a trance here. Let's stare at that for a minute or whenever it stops, and then look at the surrounding areas here. We'll start to get that wavy effect, that wavy illusion. Little Island is also has a small playground for the kids. Okay, I'm not sure how long this wheel is gonna go, but let's continue here. Let's continue here. Look at the view here, looking south towards downtown Manhattan. We can see One World Trade Center. Once again, it is lit in the colors of the Yankees, the navy blue with the white. And right over here, we can see that is Pier 57 there. That is Pier 57. That is also open to the public. Yes, the video is from 2021. Little Island video from 2021. It is a full walkthrough of the park here, back when it first opened. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna start to make our way out of the I keep saying the Highline. I'm so used to the Highline. We're gonna make our way out of Little Island Park. Okay. It's been a long day for me, so apologies there for the errors there and the mistakes. It has been a long day for me. Very beautiful views, says Irma. Okay, so we're gonna make our way out of Little Island and back onto the streets as we continue the stream here tonight. All right, so we're gonna exit along this side here, and we can see the Empire State Building. It is lit up in the colors of the Mets, as the Mets get ready for their home opener tomorrow over at Citi Field. They'll be taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates for their home opener, the brand new Major League Baseball season. And right here we can see the support tulips here, on which the Highline or the Little Island Park rests on. Not sure why I keep saying Highline. I'm still saying the Highline. I'm not sure why. But the Highline is closed. They have closed They close the park there at 8 p.m. And Little Island here, I believe they close, I believe they're open till 11 p.m. tonight. Let me take a look here real quick. Oh yes, they are open here till 11 p.m. And those hours, by the way, they do change throughout the year. So right now they're currently open to 11 p.m. During the summer months, they're open, I believe, till 1 a.m. All right, so we just took a look here, another quick walkthrough of Little Island Park and Pier 55. On this cold, windy night, it is a windy night here. It is rather chilly as well. There was a bit milder earlier, but now it is definitely chilly. And thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter, for bringing up the link there. Thank you. Yes, so that video is a walkthrough, a full walkthrough of Little Island Park back when it opened in 2021. Beautiful, beautiful park here. This park here has been a hit since it opened 5 years ago. And of course here, the famous archway of Pier 54, which is where the RMS Carpathia docked with the survivors of the Titanic disaster back in 1912. By the way, the anniversary of that sinking is coming up next month. That will be the 100th and let's see, the 114th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. It's amazing that it's been that long. The shipwreck itself, the wreck of the Titanic, rests more than 2 miles below the Atlantic Ocean, the North Atlantic Ocean, with all of the souls that perished in that disaster. And another look here at the Whitney Museum of the American Art. Okay, so from here we're gonna make our way over to Washington Square Park. We're gonna make our way over to Washington Square Park, and from Washington Square Park we're gonna stop by a memorial excuse me, we're gonna stop by a memorial right outside of Washington Square Park, which is in dedication to the Shirtwaist Factory fire, which took place on this very same day. This is the anniversary of the Shirtwaist the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, which is one of the, which still remains the biggest, the deadliest fire that took place here in New York City. That was back in 1911. On this day, March 25th, 1911. We're gonna stop by the site there, the building. By the way, the building where the fire took place still stands. That is all part of NYU now. Is that where the original Shake Shack is at? No, not here. I believe the original Shake Shack is somewhere in Brooklyn. I believe it's in downtown Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to stop by the site, or where the Shirtwaist Triangle factory fire. The tragedy there took place on this day back in 1911, which is one of the most famous industrial fires to ever take place in this country. Today is the anniversary of that tragedy. There was an event there earlier in the day to remember all of the victims that perished in that factory fire. As we cross the West Side Highway once again, back out as we head east from the far west side of Manhattan. And also today is also the anniversary of a more recent event, a more recent tragedy that took place back in 1990. That was back on this very same day, March 25th of 1990. That was the Happy Land Social Club fire, which took place in the Bronx, up in the Bronx. That tragedy was a case of arson. So here in New York City, we do have the anniversaries for two tragic events. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire back in 1911 and the Happy Land Social Club fire, which took place in the Bronx back in 1990. So two of the biggest fires, two of the deadliest fires here in New York City occurring on the same day in different years. Madison Square Park, yes, Peter, yes, now that I remember, yes, yes, there you go. I'm not an expert in Shake Shack, but thank you, Peter, for bringing that up. And thank you all once again for joining me here live. We are walking here right along. This is right along the meatpacking district. We got the southern terminus right here of the Hollyland, which we walked earlier. Right here along Gazenvoort Street. It is a quiet night here in New York City. Shake Shack opened in 2004 and was originally a hot dog cart back in 2001. Interesting. Look how far they have come in the last 20 plus years. It's amazing how our business starts out small and before you know it, it becomes an empire. A national and international empire. Okay, so right now we are walking down towards Washington Square Park, and from there we're gonna stop by the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, the site of that tragedy. On the anniversary there, this is the 115th year anniversary of that tragedy. That fire still remains the deadliest fire in New York City history. When was the last time I saw Seafront from the NYC walking show? The last time I saw him was probably, I'm guessing during the New Year's event, the New Year's Eve, the ball drop, the live stream there in Times Square. I believe that was the last time I saw him in person. Beautiful view here. This is Gazenvoort Plaza and the heart of the meatpacking district here. Seafot from the NYC Walking Show. His channel right now is the biggest of the New York City in real life streamers. He took that title away from Ken of Action Kid. But Kenneth, he no longer resides here in New York City, so Seafot is currently the biggest in real life streamer here in New York City. We definitely do miss Action Kid here in New York City. He is sorely missed. He is the inspiration to so many channels here. He definitely inspired me to start this channel and do these live streams here. He inspires so many to, you know, just get up and document the city, vlog what's going on here, and you know, and just participate in all of the events that take place here. So honestly, without Ken of Action Kid, I don't think I would be doing this right now. He definitely inspired a lot of us to start our own YouTube channels here. James and Carla, the last time I saw the I'm trying to remember now. James and Carla, the last time I saw them was probably, I'm trying to think here. It might have been for the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The lighting there, the tree lighting over at Rockefeller Center. The last person that I met up with was Marion from Love to Travel. She covers every event, it seems. She always finds a way to cover so many of the events that take place here. She was actually down at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire memorial event that took place earlier. She did document that event. Not sure if she was live for it, but she did document it. I did see some pictures that she took earlier as they remembered the victims there. Okay, so that is where we are heading right now. We are heading towards the, first we're going to stop by Washington Square. And from there we're going to make our way over to the building there, which is now known as the Brown Building. That is the site of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire, which occurred 115 years ago today, back in 1911. That remains the deadliest fire in New York City history, and one of the deadliest fires, by the way, in this country's history. That fire caused 146 workers, which were garment workers. A lot of them were young girls, young women, immigrants as well. 123 women and 23 men. Brigadier General Peter Ganzenvoort was a New York Revolutionary War general, and his maternal grandfather was Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick. Interesting facts there, Peter. You definitely have to dig in deep to get some of that information. I honestly don't remember a lot of these facts myself. It's you definitely do have to research. There is so much history here in New York that it is just difficult to even remember most of it. And thank you, Irma. It is time to go to sleep. Thank you, Irma. Thank you. Thank you for joining me here tonight. May you have a good night, and good night to everyone in Finland. Okay, folks, if you are new to the channel, make sure once again to hit that like button. Make sure to like the stream and make sure to subscribe to the channel. As we are making our way over to Washington Square on this Wednesday night. Wednesday night in late March. It is a beautiful night here in New York City. A bit cold, a bit windy, but otherwise it is beautiful as always. And we do have an update here of the Yankees opener, their season opening game, as they take on the San Francisco Giants out in California. It is the 3-0 Yankees. They are in the top of the second inning. And we do have the Mets home opener tomorrow over at Citi Field. They'll be taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. That game begins at 1:15 in the afternoon tomorrow. That is their home opener, the Mets home opener. A lovely night here as we walk around here in Manhattan. We are walking around here the West Village neighborhood, Greenwich Village. And make sure you guys join me next week on Wednesday, April the 1st, April Fool's Day. We'll be live from the Jacob Javits Convention Center for the New York International Auto Show, this year's auto show. We'll be live streaming that event, so make sure you guys join me next week on Wednesday. We'll be live streaming that event as we check out all of the new vehicles, all of the debuts taking place there. It should be a fun event. Always one of my favorite events of the year. And by the way, the New York International Auto Show is the oldest auto show. But right now we are just walking along here in the village. That is beautiful. Very nice little courtyard right there.
And they're expensive.
Okay, so we are approaching, I believe this is 9th Avenue right here. Or this might be 8th Avenue. Where are we right now? We are walking east here. I believe this is either 8th or 9th. Okay, this is 7th Avenue here. Okay, this is 7th Avenue right here. Okay, so this is 7th Avenue here and 13th Street East, or rather West 13th Street. This is traffic heading southbound. As we continue to make our way towards Washington Square, we're going to check out real quick what's going on there, although I'm not really expecting much of anything there, especially on this night. It's a mostly quiet night here, but we are going to check out the site there of the Shirtwaist Triangle Factory Fire, the site there, which is now known as the Brown Building. The Brown Building is all part of NYU, New York University. That is all part of the campus there now. But back in the day, that was all part of the, it was an industrial building. And also today is the anniversary of the Happy Land Social Club fire, which took place back on this day in 1990 in the Bronx. Back then, that tragedy was the case of arson. I remember that tragedy as well. I was 7 years old back when that tragedy took place in the Bronx. Let's see, 87 people died in that tragedy, in that arson fire, which was set by Julio Gonzalez. Julio Gonzalez was a jealous ex-boyfriend of one of the workers there. She worked there at the social club. She was, by the way, that club was an illegally operated club. They had some sort of argument, and he returned late that night, and with gasoline, and he basically set the club on fire. Many of the victims, they were trapped. There was only one main exit there. So today is the anniversary of two tragic fires in this city's history. The one at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, which took place in 1911, and the Happy Land disaster, the fire there up in the Bronx, which took place in 1990. That's the one I remember. As a kid, I was 7 years old when that tragedy took place. Okay, so right now we are walking towards Washington Square Park, which is right near the Brown Building, which is currently known as the Brown Building now. That is where the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire took place. They did have a memorial service earlier in the day today to remember the victims there. Okay, this is 6th Avenue here. That is the view looking south towards downtown with One World Trade Center, which we saw earlier from Gazanville Plaza. Beautiful night here. And of course, we had the earlier incident that took place, earlier in the week, involving the Air Canada flight from Montreal and Quebec. It was attempting to make a landing at LaGuardia Airport here in New York City, when it struck a fire truck belonging to the Port Authority. That is the multi-state agency that operates LaGuardia Airport here. It struck that fire truck. That fire truck was responding to a separate emergency. Sadly, both pilots of that plane, the Air Canada plane, they were killed in that accident. The pilot and the co-pilot, they were both killed as the plane struck the fire truck as it was approaching the airport, the runway there, during the landing there. According to preliminary investigations from the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, it appeared that the fire truck was not equipped with the necessary equipment, the alert system that would have alerted the air traffic controllers that there was a fire truck in the path of an oncoming plane. That is the preliminary investigations. That is what the NTSB, their early investigation, believes. So rest in peace to both pilots of the Air Canada flights. And by the way, that was Air Canada Express Flight 8646 from Montreal Trudeau International Airport in Quebec to LaGuardia Airport here in New York City. It was a Bombardier CRJ 900 plane. Yeah, this is what the that's not the exact plane, but that is a similar looking plane to the one that crashed. There were 72 passengers on board and 4 crew members, so 76 people in total on that flight. There were 2 fatalities, the 2 pilots, 39 injuries, and 74 survivors. The pilots, they were 30-year-old Antoine Forrest of Quebec and 38-year-old Mackenzie Gunther of Peterborough, Ontario. Both Canadians. I think the crash was at night. Yes, it was at night. It was around, I believe it was around 1 in the morning. It was an event that took place overnight. And by the way, we did have rainy and foggy weather that night. Although it is believed that weather did not play a factor in that accident, but rather the fact that the fire truck was not equipped with the necessary emergency equipment that would have alerted the air traffic controllers there. The plane was cleared to land. So the plane was given the clear to land. And by coincidence, the fire truck, as well as other emergency vehicles there at the time, they were responding to a separate call. So what happened was the fire truck came in, was operating right across the runway, the same runway in which the Air Canada flight was about to land on. So it was an event of lots of unfortunate events leading up to it. Okay, so that is the preliminary investigation according to the National Transportation Safety Board, or the NTSB. That is the agency responsible for investigating these aviation accidents and transportation disasters. So we did have some rainy weather as well as fog, but it is believed that the weather did not play a role in causing that accident.
I got a flight from Oklahoma City.
Okay, so we have made our way over here. This is Fifth Avenue. We are walking south towards Washington Square Park. We were last here, I believe, during the snow, the blizzard, the blizzard of last month's blizzard. We were here for the big snowball fight that took place during the end of the blizzard there. That was the biggest snowstorm that we have seen here in the last decade, the last 10 years. This is the Church of the Ascension right here. They have the Black Lives Matter sign there. Okay, so right now we are heading towards Washington Square Park, and from there we're going to stop by the Brown Building, as it is currently known. The Brown Building was the site of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire back in 1911. Today is the anniversary of that fire, the 115th year anniversary of that tragedy, which still remains the deadliest fire in New York City history. There was a memorial service earlier in the day to remember the victims of that fire. Thank you all for taking your time off to join me here live. It has been a quiet night here in New York City. And hello to my sister there, Elcita. What's up? Nice to see you here. How is your night going? It is, I am tired right now. It's been a long day for me, but we're going to be on for maybe another 20 minutes here. We're just going to walk by Washington Square, and then we're going to stop by the site of the fire, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire that took place in 1911. That was a big disaster back then. We have a small audience tonight, but you guys are always great no matter how big or small you are. As we are coming right here upon Washington Square, we can see the arch there to welcome us. And of course, today is also the anniversary of the Happy Land Social Fire Club, which took place back in 1990 on this day. So this is the anniversary. Today is the anniversary of two of the deadliest fires in New York City history, which is a coincidence that they both took place on the same day. And I do have some pictures here of the Happy Land fire. Let me pull up those one by one here. Right here we can see, let me see if I can pull up here. Okay, right here we can see one picture here. We can see the FDNY and the NYPD there on scene. That is from 1990. And right there we can see some of the body as well. Some of the bodies from that fire. Let me pull up another picture here. Here's another picture right here. This is looking at the Happy Land Social Club as is right after it burned. The fire was brought under control. Many of the bodies were laid out in the sidewalk in front of the club there. And we have another picture right here. That's another picture of some of the bodies covered in tarp. And right here we can see a picture of Julio Gonzalez. Julio Gonzalez was the suspect, the arsonist behind that fire. He died in prison back in 2016. 2016 is when he passed away in prison. He was serving a life sentence for that tragedy there in the Bronx. Okay, so here we are. This is Washington Square Park. This is the famous archway here of Washington Square Park. Okay, so we're going to walk around here for a few minutes, and then from here we're going to stop by the Brown Building, which is just down the block from here, side of the Shirtwaist Triangle Factory Fire. All right, so this is, we have the usual crowd here. Washington Square Park is always a popular park, no matter the time of the year or the time of the day. There's always a crowd gathered here. We got the fountain here as well, although the fountain is not on right now. We got some folks here. They're having a sword fight there, a Star Wars type sword fight there, the lightsabers. We got the skaters, of course. That is the view looking back north towards Midtown with the Empire State Building. Of course, the Empire State Building is lit in the colors of the Mets, the blue and orange colors of the Mets, as they start their home opener tomorrow against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay, so the last time we were here, that was during the blizzard of 2026. That is when the big snowball fight took place here. Towards the end of the blizzard. We had must have been a few hundred folks participating in that big snowball fight here. And right there, looking south, we can see One World Trade Center with the spire. The spire right now is being lit in the colors of the Yankees, the navy blue and white colors of the Yankees, as the Yankees start their season out west against the San Francisco Giants. Welcome to Washington Square Park. Okay, we got something that's written in chalk here. Let's read that here. If you see ice, call or text 229-304-8720. And right here we have salute, size, activity, location, uniforms, time, and equipment. Okay, somebody wrote that up there. All right, so we got the fountain area, which is also a skate park, by the way. When the fountain is not on, they turn this into a skate park. And we do have some skaters there on their skateboards. We got one kid right there. Oh, he just took a little spill there. Okay, very nice scene here in Washington Square Park. The time now is 9:13 p.m. Eastern Time here on the East Coast on this Wednesday night. And of course, the park here is surrounded by the campus of NYU. This is all NYU. All of these buildings here, they're all part of NYU, New York University. Beautiful view here, Washington Square Park. And we'll definitely be back here during the spring and summer months, as we have a lot of events that take place here. We'll definitely be back. A lot of the folks that come here to the park, of course, they are all students from NYU. This is a popular hangout for all of the NYU students. Beautiful night here with all of the park goers inside of Washington Square. Okay, so right now we're gonna stop by the Brown Building. As I mentioned ago, it is right outside of the park here, the Brown Building. For those of you not familiar with the Brown Building is the site, or was the site of the Shirtwaist Triangle factory fire that took place on this day back in 1911. Today is the 115-year anniversary of that fire, which remains the deadliest fire in New York City history. One of the deadliest industrial fires of modern times. The Brown Building, the address there is 2329 Washington Place. It is a 10-story building. So that is where we are heading right now to. We're just going to pay our little respects there for the victims of that fire that took place back in 1911. There was a memorial service earlier in the day to remember all of the victims of that fire, of that tragedy. So thank you all once again for joining me here tonight. Okay, which is the building? I'm trying to find the right building. Is it this one here? No. Okay, the Brown Building is actually, okay, it's right over here actually. This is the Brown Building right here. We just walked past it. It is right here. This is the Brown Building right here. Okay. It was a little difficult to see in the dark here at night here. Okay, so this is the Brown Building right here. This is where the Shirtwaist factory fire took place back on this day in 1911. This is what the building looks like today. It is part of NYU, New York University. Okay, is it? I'm trying to make sure. I want to make sure I get the. I'm actually at the right building here. Okay, it's either this building here. It's one of these buildings here. Give me 1 second here so I can find the right building here. Okay, this is the building right here. Okay, we found it finally. Okay, this is the building right here. Apologies there. It took a few minutes to find it, but this is the Brown Building right here. And we can see a wreath here that was laid earlier in the day. Okay, we finally found it here. The 115th Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire Anniversary. We have a little commemoration here dedicated on this day today. We can see some flowers, some roses being laid here to remember the victims back then in 1911. We're gonna start over here on this end here. Okay, right here we can see an inscription here. Let me see if I can light that up. Okay, on the afternoon of March 25th, 1911, 146 workers at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory died here in the space of 15 minutes. Most of them were immigrants or the children of immigrants, nearly all of them were women or girls. They died from smoke and fire, hurtled under their workbenches or trying to break down the doors the factory owners had locked against them. They died leaping from windows on the 9th floor, falling so hard they smashed through the sidewalk beneath your feet. They died trying to save one another. They died from the cruel indifference of their bosses and from the negligence of the city authorities. They died with their sisters, their mothers, their daughters, their brothers, but they did not die in vain. Their deaths inspired a renewed fight for social justice, a struggle for worker rights and safety that would transform America. This memorial inscribes the names of those who died on that long ago afternoon and honors their memory. But it is also dedicated to the survivors and the witnesses and to all of those who took up the fight for basic human dignity in the workplace and who do so to this day. And here we are. This memorial, by the way, was dedicated a couple of years ago, I believe. Is when they this is a rather recent memorial here, a recent addition to the site here. And right here we can see some names here. We have Vicenza. I don't want to. Perhaps we can turn it over. Vicenza Balletto, who was 15 years old. Most of the victims here, they were young immigrants here. We got Sadie Nasbaum, who was 18. So that is the inscription dedicated here. And let me pull up some pictures from that date here. I do have a few pictures here. This is what the view looked like of the building as the fire department made their way here. That is a picture right there of the brown building. That is one photo there from 1911. We have a couple of more here. Let me pull that up here. Here's another angle of the fire. That's another view there, a different angle of the fire there, as you can see the firefighters trying to bring the fire under control here. This is a picture here from the New York Herald. That is what their headline looked like, the front page there. And we have one more picture here. This is inside of the fire right here. This is the aftermath. We can see a photograph here of the aftermath of the fire. By the way, that fire was started by a lit cigarette butt that was discarded into a trash can. That fire was ignited by a cigarette butt that was discarded. So this tragedy led to a lot of work changes in the workplace in regards to safety workers and worker rights. As we look at the memorial here dedicated to the victims here of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. 146 victims in all, 123 men, girls, and 23 men. A lot of them being Italian and Jewish immigrants. And they were young, by the way. Their ages ranged in between 14 and 23 years old. So these were young victims of the fire. And right here we can see the same inscription. That is in Italian and also Yiddish right here. We can see the same inscription in Yiddish right here. Since many of the victims here, the workers, were Jewish and Italian as well. So rest in peace to all of the victims here of the Shirtwaist Triangle Factory fire. And we're gonna cross the street here. This fire remains the deadliest fire in New York City history, by the way. This is the deadliest fire in New York City history, and one of the deadliest fires in this country's history. Certainly the deadliest fire, the deadliest industrial fire in history. Okay, so let me pull up that picture one more time here. This picture right here of the Brown building. This is basically looking at it from the same angle as what you guys see here on the stream. So that is back in 1911. And we close that picture and we can see the same view here tonight. Right there. That's a good way to look at it right there. Let me pull that up one more time. So that is the same angle right here of the Brown building. Back in 1911, this building was known as the Ash Building. The Ash Building. It is now known as the Brown Building, which is owned and operated by NYU now. So take away that picture, and this is what the building looks like on this night. So rest in peace to all of the fire victims back in 1911. It's hard to imagine that it's been that long. Peter's asking, wonder what NYU uses the building, the Brown building now. It is part of, I believe they're part of dormitories as well. I know they have, I believe they have some, actually it says here they have houses. They house classrooms, study spaces, and many research labs. They're part of the NYU chemistry and biology departments. Okay, so that is the information here. So the current building houses classrooms, study spaces, and research labs. That is part of NYU's chemistry and biology departments. But back then in 1911, this was an industrial building, which was home to factories. The Shirtwaist factory being one of them. They were located up. They were located near the top, on the 9th floor. So that is what the current building looks like here on this night, 115 years to the day of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, which remains the deadliest fire in New York City history. And by the way, the factory was located on the 8th, right here, the 8th, 9th, and 10th floor. So the top 3 floors is where the factory was located. So basically those floors right there where the camera is pointed, that is where the factory was located. Right along the top 3 floors up there. Rest in peace to all of the fire victims. Okay, so we're gonna make our way back towards Washington Square. We're about to end the stream in a few minutes, so we're just gonna walk around here for maybe about another 5 minutes. And then I'll end the stream here for the night as we remember the victims here of the Shirtwaist Triangle Factory fire on this, the 115th year anniversary of that tragedy. Back then, a lot of these factories, you know, the workforce, they were under very little regulations. You know, basically the owners, the managers, the bosses, you know, they set their own rules. It was certainly a fire that definitely would have been very preventable in the modern age today. A lot of the exits there, they were locked to keep the workers from, to prevent theft and to keep the workers from stealing time. So that played a major role as to why so many victims died, because they were just simply trapped. It was certainly a preventable tragedy. But due to the lax of laws, you know, safety regulations back then, you know, very much like the Titanic. Very much like the Titanic. The Titanic was, for the most part, you know, it could have been an avoidable tragedy as well. You know, there were so few lifeboats available to the passengers there. Less than half of the passengers back in the Titanic tragedy were able to get on lifeboats. There were simply not enough of them. And of course, the tragedy of the Titanic led to a lot of changes in the maritime industry as well. Most notably, making sure that all of the boats, the ships, had enough lifeboats for all of the passengers on board. Among other things, but that was one of the more notable changes to take place there as well. So rest in peace to both the Shirtwaist Triangle factory fire victims and the fire victims of the Happy Land disaster, which took place on this day as well, back in 1990. That is the most recent of the two fire disasters that took place on this day in New York City history. Okay, Peter, since you're still here, I'm going to end the stream over by the, the Blue Jazz Club, right? We're going to make our way over there since we're nearby. The Blue Note Jazz Club. We're going to make our way there. I'll be ending the stream there since we're just only a few blocks from there. We're going to revisit the Blue Note Jazz Club. I am tired. I am definitely tired. So this stream will be ending a little bit shorter than usual. Usually I go for about 3 hours, but I am so tired. Okay, so one more look here at Washington Square and Washington Square Park. And the Brown Building right behind that, as we honor the victims of the Shirtwaist Triangle factory fire. So thank you all once again for joining me on this live stream. We are here in the Village, right outside of Washington Square Park. We just paid a little tribute to the victims there of the Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire. That is the deadliest fire, which remains the deadliest fire in New York City history. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like the stream. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you all once again for joining me here on this quiet Wednesday night here in New York City. And we have One World Trade Center once again in view there, with the spire lit up in the colors of the New York Yankees, the navy blue and white colors of the Yankees, the pinstripes. And by the way, the Yankees, they're playing the San Francisco Giants out in California. The score there is 5-0 in favor of the Yankees. They are in the bottom of the fourth. When was the last time I saw Fernando from Super Friends NYC? The last time I saw Fernando, that was fairly recent. I'm trying to remember exactly when it was, but it was fairly recent. I believe I saw him at the, gosh, when did I last see him? It was pretty recent. I'm just trying to remember exactly when it was.
Okay, I'm on my way, but it needs
Okay, so this is West 3rd Street right over here. I'm trying to remember when was the last time I saw Fernando. If I don't remember exactly when, then that's fine. But I know it was fairly recent. Okay, this is the current line here for the Blue Note Jazz Club. The last time we came here was about a week and a half ago. The line literally stretched down West 3rd Street there. This one's still long, but it seems a bit shorter. So even on this Wednesday now, they are out. And right here we can see the banner to the Blue Note Jazz Club. I definitely have to make my way into that club one day. We are definitely going to visit the Blue Note Jazz Club. Perhaps sometime in the summer. Always a big line. No different tonight, Peter. No different tonight. No different tonight. I'm going to find out prior to making my way into the club if I can live stream. That would make the experience even better if I'm able to live stream from inside the venue here. Okay, so even tonight we do have a long line to get in. We have a long line to get in. And of course you can always get a deli sandwich here, or you can grab a pizza while you wait in line. And we do have a separate line across the street. So we got long lines here on opposite sides of 3rd Street. Okay, so the line that you guys see here across the street, that is to get into the Fat Black Pussycat. That is another club here on 3rd Street, opposite from the Blue Note, right here with the line over here as well. So we got big events taking place on both sides of 3rd Street. We got the Blue Note and the Fat Black Pussycat right here. It is a busy, active night here in the village, and especially here on 3rd Street. And we got some folks that are waiting to get inside of the Comedy Cellar as well. So we got all of these folks trying to get into all of these venues here, right along 3rd Street. Peter says, use your press pass if you had one to see if they will let you in to film. To provide them some publicity, although the line would mean it is well known. Yes, Peter, I can definitely try that. I will definitely see. I'll definitely see and let you guys, I'll definitely keep you guys updated as to when I might stop by here and actually record from inside of the Blue Note Jazz Club. So as you guys can see, it is an active night here, even during the middle of the week. It is Wednesday night. It is only Wednesday night, and we can see just how many folks are out and about enjoying the night here. Look how beautiful it is. Beautiful view of all of the neon lights here. Okay, we got the Blue Note and the Fat Black Pussycat Club right here, as well as the Comedy Cellar. We got all of these venues here. People are partaking in all of these different events taking place simultaneously tonight.
What makes for an easy exit though?
Okay, so an active night here. You would think it's Friday night here. You would think it's Friday night or Saturday night, but it is only Wednesday night. And we got a large gathering of folks here just trying to enjoy the night out in the city. Okay, so we're gonna walk around here for another few minutes here. Why not? The night is still young, at least for the folks waiting in line there, and waiting in one of those the lines here on 3rd Street. The night is still young for those folks. A lot of those folks probably have the day off from work or from school tomorrow, so I would think that's why they're going into one of the venues there on 3rd Street. They perhaps they have the night off or the day off tomorrow, and they'll just either that or they're just gonna call in sick. They're gonna call in sick tomorrow. Either way, may everybody have a good night, a wonderful, enjoyable night. Look how beautiful it is here in the village tonight here. Late March. Early spring here. Although it still feels a bit chilly for spring. It won't actually feel like spring until I would say maybe the middle of April. Although we are expecting milder temperatures to arrive, I believe starting tomorrow, though milder temperatures are moving in.
My God, can you get my bus full?
Okay, so we are walking here in the village. We just took a look at the lines forming for the right in front of the Blue Jazz, or the Blue Note Jazz Club there, as well as the couple of the other venues across the street from it. It is an active night here in the village, right here in New York City, on this Wednesday night. Okay, so we're gonna end the night here. We're gonna end the stream here in front of the Stonewall Inn. Now that we're in the area, we're just gonna end the stream there at the Stonewall Inn. That is the landmark building here. Famous for being the location of the modern gay rights movement here in New York City, which began back in 1969 with the Stonewall riots. So we're gonna end the night down there, which is about a block away, a couple of blocks from here. And make sure you guys join me next week on Wednesday. I did mention it earlier, but if you guys missed it, make sure you guys join me next Wednesday, April the 1st. I will be live streaming the New York International Auto Show from the Jacob Javits Convention Center. It is always one of my favorite events of the year, so make sure you guys tune in on Wednesday, April the 1st. as we cover the New York International Auto Show live from the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center. That would be the first day there, the first press day. I will be live streaming that event, so make sure you guys tune in for the auto show.
If you were born in the 60s, I think you
We were live last year for that event, and I cannot wait to go back this year. That was my first time live streaming that event. We'll be back again this year. Is it a car show? Yes, it is. The New York International Auto Show. The New York International Auto Show is the oldest auto show in the country. Okay, so we're making our way down to the Stonewall here, the Stonewall Inn, as we are walking around here in the village. Okay, so we're gonna make our way over to this side here. The Stonewall is right across the street. Ricky, have a look at BlueNoteJazz.com to learn about the schedule of entertainers and other history of it. I definitely will, Peter. Definitely will. Okay, so here we are. This is the right next door is the visitor center, which is the newest addition here to the Stonewall. This is the Stonewall National Monument Visitor Center. This visitor center opened a few years ago, and right next door, of course, we have the Stonewall Inn itself, right here, with all of the flags up there. Let's see who we have playing here tonight. We have a piano bar. We got some guests here. We got Andrew Greenwich. We have Lyra Vega. And we have Taylor Patty. They're performing here tonight from 9 p.m. to 2 p.m. All right, so we do have some live entertainment taking place inside of the Stonewall right now. And we do have this plaque here. Let me turn on the flashlight so you guys can see that. Okay, right here it says the events that began at the Stonewall Inn in 1969 marked a monumental change for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ. American Stonewall, which occupied 5153 Christopher Street, was a gay bar that was raided on June 28, 1969. Patrons and a crowd outside resisted, and confrontations continue over the next few nights in nearby Christopher's Park and adjacent streets. This uprising catalyzed the LGBTQ civil rights movement, resulting in increased visibility for the community that continues to resonate in the struggle for equality. And this was dedicated back in 2016. And Kobe says, I like jazz music. I definitely like jazz music myself. I like jazz music myself. So we are visiting a few famous locations here in the village. We visited Washington Square Park. We took a look at the Brown Building, which is the site, or was the site of the Shirtwaist Triangle Factory fire. We're outside here of the Stonewall Inn. And one more nearby location that I would like to visit before we end the night here. That is the Friends apartment building. Of course, Friends, the popular sitcom from the 1990s. We're just about a few blocks from the Friends apartment building, so we're going to visit that location right now. That location is 90 Bedford Street. So before we end the stream here, we're gonna visit one more famous location here in the neighborhood here. That is 90 Bedford Street, which is also known as the Friends Apartment Building. So that will be our last stop here for the stream tonight. AEW, yes, Andrew, I gotta catch up to AEW Dynamite. I gotta rewind that over on HBO Max. Okay, so our last visit here will be at the Friends Apartment Building. We're just about a couple of blocks from there, so we'll be there in a few minutes. My mom is doing good. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you for asking. She is doing good. She is good, doing good. I hope your mom is doing great as well. Okay, so our last stop here during this live stream will be the Friends Apartment Building, 90 Bedford Street. And by the way, only the exterior of the building was used. So they did not tape or film the Friends episode at the location here. Only the exterior was used, you know, for the exterior shots. This is Bleecker Street right here. Matthew Perry, yes, he did die. Yes, he did die. When was that? Like 2 or 3 years ago, he passed away. Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry he died back on October 28th, 2023. I was actually here on when they had gathered shortly after his death. I did record some video of that.
They're whining about that.
Matthew Perry, one of the stars of that sitcom, along with Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, and of course Matthew Perry and David Schwimmer. Those were the main cast members of Friends back in the 1990s and early 2000s. He died from a ketamine overdose, unfortunately. And by the way, Matthew Perry's son, Jack Perry, he is a wrestler. He is a professional wrestler over on AEW. Okay, so right here, this is Bedford Street. The apartment building is just down the block from here. The famous Friends Apartment Building. Right along here in Bedford Street. It is the address is 90 Bedford Street. This is a location that we have been to a couple of times. I believe the last time I went here was I believe it was back during the summer, past summer we were here. Can you go to Seinfeld? Seinfeld, if you're referring to the diner, that's located on the Upper West Side. We're not really near that, but we can definitely do that during another live stream. We're just visiting some of the famous locations here in the neighborhood here of Greenwich Village. Okay, so here is the building right here on the corner. This is 90 Bedford Street. Right there. That is the famous Friends building. There it is right there. Let's zoom in as if it were one of the shots from the show. They always will show the apartment building right from this spot right here on this corner. This is the corner of Bedford Street right here. Bedford and what's the other street here? Let me see the street sign. This is Grove Street right here. This is the corner of Bedford and Grove Street right here. They are probably asleep. All of the cast members from Friends, they have since moved on to other things. You know, they have moved on with their lives. But there it is right there. Looking at it from as if it were 1994. We're visiting this building as if it were 1994. And we have this restaurant here down on the ground floor right here. This restaurant is known as the Little Owl. This is the Little Owl restaurant located within the Friends building right here on Bedford Street. How amazing it is to actually see this building in person. I've seen it many times, but it's always a treat to come by. It never gets old. Okay, so according to Google here, let's see, Monica Geller's apartment was number 20, which is located on the 3rd floor. So that would be let's see, 1, 2, and 3. Right about there is where Monica Geller's apartment used to be located. Right there on the 3rd floor. So I believe that is where, well, according to the show at least, that is where they were located, the apartment. Can you go to Astoria, neighborhood of Queens in New York City? That was where Sesame Street was filmed. I was last in Astoria last summer, so we'll definitely be coming by all of these different neighborhoods. You know, now that the weather is getting warmer, we can go out more, we can stream more. We'll definitely be doing a whole lot of streams in the coming months, so we'll definitely come by to all of these different neighborhoods. We'll definitely stop by Astoria, Queens as well. But right now we are located in front of the famous Friends apartment building right here on 90 Bedford Street. And the 3rd floor, that is where Monica Geller's apartment used to be located, right there, right in the middle floor there. Okay, perhaps I can play the Friends theme song, but not for too long because I don't want to get a copyright strike here. So let me see if I can do that here. If I do get a copyright strike, I'll just mute the music later on. All right, so we're gonna play that real quick before we end the stream here. Here we go. Okay, and that was the theme song to Friends. Yeah, we're so it definitely feels like we're in the show right now, even though the show's been canceled for what, 20 years now. The last season of the show, I believe, was back in I believe it was back in 2004, was it? When was the last season of Friends? That was back in where is it? I lost my information here. Okay, yeah, the last season was in 2004. It ran from 1994 to 2004. So approximately 10 seasons, 10 years. Friends ended 22 years ago. Yes. Although for us, it is continuing here. We have a brand new season of Friends right here on the stream. All right, folks, thank you all once again as we are visiting 90 Bedford Street, also known as the Friends apartment building right here in the village of New York City. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like the stream, make sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Redstorm Pro. It is a reunion. This is the 22nd year reunion for the cast of Friends right here in front of their old apartment building. So thank you all once again. You guys have been wonderful. Always great to have you all here. We are visiting Friends apartment building as if it were 1994. It certainly doesn't look any different than it did back then. So thank you all once again. You guys have been great. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like the stream and make sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Redstorm Pro. Thank you all once again as we take another look here, one more look at the Friends apartment building here along Bedford Street. 90 Bedford Street is the exact address here. The next live stream, I'm gonna try to live stream again tomorrow. So thank you all once again. We took a look at some interesting spots right here, ending with the Friends apartment building. Earlier we visited the Brown building, the location of the shirtwaist factory fire that took place in 1911. That is the deadliest fire, or what remains the deadliest fire in New York City history. Rest in peace to all of those folks there. The parish 115 years ago on this day today. As well as the Blue Note Jazz Club. So lots of famous locations, historical locations here in the village. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Kobe. Thank you to Ivan. Thank you to Andrew. Thank you to Brian. Thank you to everybody here tonight. You guys have all been great. Thank you all once again. I'll see you back all here during my next live stream. May everybody have a good night. May you all have a blessed night. And we'll be back here perhaps tomorrow. So if you guys will see me tomorrow if I do in fact go live. So once again, have a good night. Thank you all. Thank you, Kobe, for tuning in. Shout out to all of the cast members from Friends. Shout out to everybody in the stream. You guys have been great. So until next time, have a good night from right here along 90 Bedford Street, the location of the Friends apartment building right here in Greenwich Village in New York City. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you all on my next live stream. And my sister, hey, what's up, Fanny? Stopping by here at the very last second. Okay, so in case you missed it, this is the famous Friends apartment building right here. This is 90 Bedford Street. This is the building where the cast of Friends lived, called home, during that 10-year run. All right, so thank you all once again, folks. I'll see you on my next live stream. God bless you all, and good night from the Friends apartment building. And I'll be there for you. We'll be there for each other. We'll all be there for each other. Thank you all once again. Have a good night. So long from the Friends apartment building and Jennifer Aniston. Thank you all. Have a good night.